What up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Live number 148. Ooh, we're almost at 150. That's exciting. What's going on, Karina? Hello, Pez. What's up, Skeet? Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening slash morning slash daytime slash whatever time it is for you. What's going on, Lene? Alright. I have not had a whole lot of chances to write a whole lot recently, so I'm excited just to dip some ink right now. Hello, you. Good day. Welcome. Come down here a little bit. Really quickly, because I do remember I forgot to check my microphone volume. How are we for volume again today? Did my mic auto put me quiet? Not Engrosser Script for me. We've been chatting about Engrosser Script. I have been working on Old English is what I was putting together. Wait, Lene said terrible. Oda Swinny said the mic is good. I don't know what to believe now. Oh, it's way over there. Interesting. I'm gonna move my desk. There we go. I posted my Engrosser Script. Well, Iampith posted my my Engrosser Script certificate that I submitted that. It was a number of years ago now when I did that one. Probably at least 4 or 5 years ago? I can't remember. 4 years ago? I don't remember. But yeah, Iampith posted that one. The volume is very low. I want it, so we know when I do this, it makes the whole stream go crazy, choppy, and slow. But I meant to do this before the stream, but I will do it now. I want to check. I cannot figure out why this microphone auto lowers its volume. Hopefully this doesn't make things go too choppy. Not go into yet. There, that should be much better. Perfect. That should sound better. I cannot figure out why it does that. It's my computer. It has nothing to do with my streaming stuff. I have set every option for that to not happen, but it still happens. That's the thing, the default volume settings are set to what they are now. But it cuts my microphone volume to 50% every time I restart my computer, it seems? I don't know. I'll dive into fixing it eventually here. overriding. So gotta be some application or something. Well, hello, Eric. How are you? Autofocus is on. Sorry, good catch. Hiya. Fixed. Can I write the word may? Of course I can. Of course I can. Give me 1 second here. I'll write it on my next line. Ooh, do it. Do it, Eric, do it. I figured you'd be finished by now. I was actually fully, I'll be honest, I was hoping to get my excellence in Old English finished, good enough that I could submit it, and then I was going to, when I saw your capitals, Eric, for your business penmanship, I was gonna try to submit a proficiency in business penmanship just as to see if I could get it done last minute and submit it, but then I messed up my Old English certificate and had to restart it, and now I do not have time before the end. So it will just be the one certificate for me this year. Fingers crossed I pass. It is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but hopefully it's close enough. Oh, accidental flick on that exit stroke, but there's the word may. Some mistakes you can fix. It was just in general, the overall sort of spacing. I wanted to try to do a better job. So I tightened up the spacing a little bit and changed some of my nib sizes, sharpened my nibs, and did my second attempt. And that's the one that I'm currently doing all the retouching on, the retouched Old English stuff, and finishing that up. The spacing is not perfect. I got it a little too tight in a few spots, but I definitely don't have time to do it again. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Eric, are you still planning to submit it? Even if you think it's may not be certificate worthy, but it's to your acceptable for a submission worthy? Are you still planning on submitting it regardless? Awesome. That's great. I think that's a good idea. That's kind of why I wanted to do it too. It's going to be a personal challenge. Like when I do my business penmanship one, it'll be a personal challenge. I want to do it with proper true movement, just like Spencerian, if I'm honest. My Spencerian certificate, it was written slowly. I would like to redo it one day when I have time. I want to redo it with movement writing, which will be very, very difficult for me because controlling those very, very fine traditional Spencerian shades with movement is tough, but I want the challenge, so that's on my to-do list one day. Linnae, the benefit of movement writing? The one thing is it's the way it was traditionally done, but the main reason that it's appealing is hairline quality. Like if we take, well, that entry stroke that I did, if we take this, for example, done in movement writing, we get nice and smooth hairlines. Now, if I do this slowly, trying to go somewhat fast just so I don't waste a lot of time. So if we go slowly, I don't know if the camera can really pick up the hairline quality, it's just not as... What's going on, Diego? Nice. It's not as wispy or as airy. Like, there's some points where, you can see here, this stroke right here, it's finer than all of my movement-ridden strokes, which is rare when you write on the slower side. But it looks more fluid and more beautiful in my personal opinion. It is the goal. It is definitely not for everybody. Not everybody needs or wants to dive into the world of movement writing. But like Eric said, it's an accomplishment. I like to do one good letter written quickly with movement. It feels so much better. It feels, I mean, it's as Eric said, again, it's an accomplishment. And then, like Diego just said, it looks better. The problem with it is oftentimes when you write slowly, you sacrifice the hairline, but your chances of getting your form more exact or more exactly what you're going for is higher. I don't write slowly very often anymore, so I can't anymore do the quality of slow writing that I used to be able to do. Without really thinking about it and whatnot, just because I'm not used to really writing slow anymore. So when you write slowly, you sacrifice hairline quality and wispiness. When you write fast, so long as you have a light hand, you maintain that wispiness and light, beautiful hairline, but you sacrifice form. So the goal is obviously to practice enough so your form is not a sacrifice and you do the forms correctly, but it's much harder, which is what makes it an accomplishment. It feels good to write it that way. Neither is right or wrong in my opinion. It's just your outcome, what you're going for, basically. Oops, too much space there. I am rusty tonight, holy moly. I feel that, Eric. Yeah, exactly, Swinny. It depends on different people's goals. And as long as you're creating what either makes you happy or what you want to be creating, then that's the most important thing. It's like photographers, what do they say? It's the best camera is the one that's in your hand. The best pen is the one that you write with. The best way of writing is the one that makes you the happiest. That's not a saying that I've heard anybody say, but I feel like it's really true. Everybody has their preference, but I would never tell somebody that something is right or wrong or that they have to do it. I will tell people what I think is the most rewarding, but it can be a tougher path. So, different journeys for all of us. Oops. I just realized I didn't do any ovals or anything today. I do have to say, after I've been basically solely doing broad pen for the past few weeks when I've been in town. Obviously, I wasn't doing any writing when I was out of town, but I don't know that I really like broad pen. I like the way it looks. I need to do my hand. I'll say I like broad pen. My hand does not like writing broad pen, or is just not yet as comfortable enough with it to enjoy writing it. It is all kinds of different. In not a bad way, other than it hurts my hand the way I do it, which is not good. I gotta change that. Ghetto broad pen. I mean, that's where Ghetto Unchel came from, basically. Yep. Hey, Connie, how's it going? I got your email, Connie, and I will apologize live on YouTube for not responding to you yet. I have to admit, with just being out of town and whatnot, I've just been very bad at digital communication lately. Trying to get back on the wagon. I have to get better at sharpening my broad pen nibs, my broad nibs. I switch back between Mitchell nibs and Browse nibs, or I guess my favorites are my vintage Sonicans, but I don't use those very often. But the Mitchells have a bit of flex, which can be really great, but for this current submission, I wanted things to be very exact. So I used my Browse nibs because they're a little bit firmer. And I really like the Browse, and I like the oblique cut on them and everything, but they needed sharpening, and I feel like I rushed my sharpening process a little bit, so they didn't perform quite as good as they could have or they have in the past. I'm not as good at sharpening broad pen nibs as I am at sharpening pointed pen nibs, unfortunately. Gotta work on that. I have to check. Connie, is that meant to be read as, "It's all cool, man"? Is that what that means? If not, that's definitely how I read it. It's all cool. It's all cool, man. Which, if that is what that's supposed to mean, I like that very much, but I've never seen that before. Ooh, you never knew I did Engrosser Script. It is a well-kept secret. I don't do Engrosser Script often. I've done a lot of Engrosser Script study, but I do not write Engrosser Script that often, if I'm being 100% honest. Can I write it? Yes. Like most of the scripts, I can do them, but I don't do them very often. Because I don't really work as a working calligrapher, so I don't need to do them for submissions or things like that. I would like to somewhat follow in the footsteps that Eric has been on for the past couple years and dive a little bit deeper into the fantastical world of engrossing, which would get me doing more Engrosser's text than I do now, and Old English as well. That is something that I would like to start working on more. And then obviously Roman capitals and things like that. I want to get better / more. I want to enjoy them more. Some of those styles, I like the way they look. And I want to be able to do them off the cuff a little bit better. With confidence. It's just, at this point, it's become the past couple years for me has been tough with just my day job. Just balancing everything. I have not done the best job of balancing my life. Engrosser Script, I feel like I can write it really, really well. It's just slow, so I don't enjoy writing it as much. I think it looks beautiful, but for a shaded script like Engrosser Script, I definitely lean more towards the world of Signwriter Script or Shaded Spencerian. Is my favorite of the heavily shaded pointed pen scripts. For the pointed pen, it's honestly quite easy to sharpen a pointed pen nib, because it's just one single point. The issue that comes in with a broad pen nib, like as an example, if I just want to like flatten the tip of it, if this is my nib, and I just want to flatten this tip, so if it's just a rough edge and I want to flatten that, holding that pen, obviously for an oblique one, it's a little bit off vertical, but any rocking this way or this way, even a little bit, will take it off of true flat, and then when you touch it down to the page, the corners won't touch as smoothly as the center will. So that's super important to get that. And then obviously, just then if you looked at the side of the nib, getting the tip of the nib, if the metal's like that, taking that down so your writing edge is down here, and getting that down nice and smooth as well, so you get that nice super crisp hairline, is super important for me. Oh, sweet! You will have to document it and share it with us, Eric. That sounds awesome. I need to figure out how to... Oh. You want me to demonstrate how I do a broad pen sharpening? I mean, I can. It's not terribly exciting. Oh, that's too bummer. That's too bad. Nice, Diego. Deal. I wonder, it might need one of those, like a scanning on one of those, like 90-degree platen book scanners situations. I've been chatting with a guy who has one of those to take my copy of the New Spencerian Compendium to have it rescanned. Since, as many of you know, I went to another person who has one of those beautiful, amazing, super expensive machines and scanned my New Spencerian Compendium copy and did a garbage job. Absolutely terrible. And I don't have a setup good enough in my house or in my apartment to do proper book scanning of that size without reflections and a lot of other annoying things. I really wish I did. Oops. Oh, we should have done a Halloween stream tonight. I will be 100% honest with you, Skeet. I didn't even realize that that Halloween is in what, 2 days? Oh, that's ridiculous. Now I feel bad. I should have done a Halloween stream. What did we do last year? We carved a watermelon, right? Whoops. Whoops. Nice, Lene. What's your costume? What's everybody being for Halloween this year? Diego, do you have access to a proper book scanner with like a platen? Or what do you use for scanning? I know you probably have access to school equipment and whatnot. Yeah, you. I recommend everybody carve watermelons instead of pumpkins. It is way more delicious. You can just use a spoon and eat the goop as you're emptying out the watermelon. The rind or the skin does just as good of a job of holding the light, and it ends up being more like red than a orangey, so it's a darker color. Oh, ads. We got advertisements coming in. I forgot this today. Is that in frame? Get the top spinning. Absent-minded me. Skeet didn't remind us, which is surprising. Just a quick ad. Oops. A woman who stains shelves. Nice. Does that mean you'll have stain all over you? You'll be a mess? Oh, too big. Ah, that's nice. Now, can we do that with a baby shade? And then a little bigger. A bit rough going out of the last oval. I don't imagine you missed much. Shade control. I want to get a little smoother in the very light shaded realm. If you're interested in light shades, I've mentioned this penman before, but HB Lehman or Lemon, Lehman, HB Lemon, his lightly shaded ornamental penmanship is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I find fresh browse nibs just feel like they look like they want to be sharpened a whole lot when I write with them or when I get new ones. So I want to sharpen them right out of the gate. And I want them to be a little more refined than they are at the moment. I think I had them good and then I sharpened them for my second attempt. And may have done a less than stellar job. Oh, what's happening? This thing under my desk is getting in the way. 2 seconds. There we go. That's better. And yeah, any nib under, anything under 2, like 1.5, 1, sub 1 nibs, definitely need to be sharpened. Oh, I'm gonna go show and tell for a moment. Give me 1 sec. I gotta find it on the bookshelf. Where is it? 2 seconds, can I reach it? one of my favorite books that I was lucky enough to find is a facsimile of 3 journals that Herman Zapp did, I believe, when he was in the war. Whoops, upside down. But these are all the same size as they are in the book. Look at these pieces. Look how tiny that is, like compared to my finger. Tiniest little broad strokes. They're so precise, and I like that you can, I don't know if the camera can show it, the penciled lines and the guides. And then he has, obviously, he has flowers. But just these pieces are unbelievably beautiful. And like, this is gorgeous, but this, I don't know why I've always been so drawn to epically tiny little things, but the cleanliness and crispness of this really tiny broad writing is unreal beautiful. That's kind of also how I feel about Engrosser Script. My favorite Engrosser Script is always the card written ones that are super tiny. Beautiful. Let me see if I find another really small one. Like, look at that. What? Like, that's gotta be, it's less than 2 millimeters, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's definitely less than 2 millimeters. It's like, it's almost 2 millimeters. For the Americans in the room, it's about a 1/16 of an inch. It's just so beautiful. So that is, if I had like a goal that I wanted to achieve with broad pen writing, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I love it when other people do it, but this is what I want. This is the broad pen I want. Epically tiny. I can't read any of it, obviously. Like, look, that's even smaller. Like, what? What? Look at that. Next to a nickel. I don't have a dime here. I would use a dime as reference. Look at it, next to a dice, a die. Or next to a metal Lego head. This is actually not a good comparison because this is bigger than a regular Lego head, so never mind. Or like next to a Rubik's Cube. Yeah, Canadian nickel is the same as American nickel. But it's so clean. Oh, can I get where there? I don't know, that's probably not helping at all. Absolutely wonderful. I love that you can see, like, this paper's not wrinkled, but you can see the wrinkles that are in the original journals. Yep, anyways, that was my show and tell. My camera, not really zoomed in much at all, compared to my regular writing. The camera's about that far away from the desk. But I can zoom in the lens more if I wanted to. Yeah, that is one of my treasures. And luckily it is rare, but it's not vintage, so I don't have to be super careful about opening it and looking through it and whatnot. It was a Kickstarter a number of years ago. I did not participate in the Kickstarter, but I learned about it afterwards and was lucky enough I found a copy in a digital bookstore that I guess somebody who was in the original Kickstarter sold their book, I guess. I don't really know. But that's that would be my broad pen goal. And obviously I'd have to write a lot bigger to be able to get that, but the nib sharpening would be very important. That's better. Nice light shade. Weird shaped oval. If anybody's looking to get up their shade control game, I do think this is a great exercise. Do it with just regular strokes, or you can do it with letters. But if you were doing it as actual training, you do like a line of hairlines, and then a line of just the super light ones, and then a line of, and see how many steps you can get until your biggest shade. Similar to how like artists will take a pencil and see how many different, like when they're shading, how many steps they can get between the lightest graphite and the darkest the pencil will go. See how many different shades they can get in there. Similar idea, but see how much control you can have over that, over your shade. Nice. Is it a good one? Eric, when you pencil, do you do your pencil with movement as well? Or do you pencil like slower and more controlled and then do movement over top? Or do you do pencil with movement and then ink with movement over top? Out of curiosity. Oops. What's happening? I lost it. Okay, that's cool. I'm wondering if I was doing, I guess I'd have to do it to know for sure what my answer would be. If I was doing like business penmanship and doing it with movement, there's a part of me that feels like I don't know if I'd want to pencil it at all. Because when I pencil things, even subconsciously, I want to follow that line. And that little bit of like wanting to slow down or wanting to control, I feel like would affect my outcome. I'd kind of want to freehand it, but that's really risky because then your spacing and everything gets a mess. But I feel like I would be inclined to do it without pencil at all. In practice, I might totally want to do the opposite after trying, but I wonder. I believe not everything. Business penmanship can be done with a fountain pen, I believe. Ah, that makes sense. Good call, Eric. But yeah, I believe business. Are you using a nib or a fountain pen, Eric? What's your tool of choice? Yes, light shades. They look so beautiful. That makes sense. Nice. I think I would be tempted to use one of my fountain pens. Maybe, I don't know. Whoops. First snap of the day. Got too far away from myself. Silly, silly me. I'm surprised you haven't done yours, Diego, for business penmanship. I've said it since the beginning, Lene. I wish nib snaps, I wish I could do them on cue and somewhat control when they happen. I mean, I guess I could just press at some point and almost guarantee a nib snap would happen, but that feels very scary to do. Not a bad idea. What paper are you using? I don't know if that one got any bigger or not. Fabriano hot press. Nice. What did I use? I used the same paper for every submission so far except for my illumination ones. I used arches. But I used I've only ever used this is what I recommend if people are looking for wanting to do submissions, because I think it's decent good paper. Strathmore Bristol Smooth is quite nice for 11 by 14 submissions. It's what I do most of my pieces and stuff on. It's not amazing, super awesome paper, but it gets the job done exactly as I need it to be done. With the exception of, like I said, my illumination certificates needed. I used arches. Diego, I believe... Actually, I have the printout here somewhere. I was curious, so I printed it. 2 seconds. Got it. I think it's Bairnsmeyer's book and Mary Champion's book. Yeah, Mary Champion's Champion Method of Practical Business Writing and H.P. Bairnsmeyer's Lessons in Practical Business Penmanship are the two that they recommend. But then they said, well, also taking into account the individualized results when writing quickly. So, the fact that that's in there means that they should allow for individuality, unlike what is in, say, Engrosser Script or things like that. Sneak peek. Association of Mercer Pyramid. Sneak peek of my unfinished certificate. I think, well, business writing, I think many people will agree that it sort of should be done with movement writing. I think it's not necessary to use movement, but I can't say for certain. I might have. I hope I did it. Yeah, I feel like for business penmanship, I really hope there... Well, it's the only one that specifically talks about that sort of allowance for personal differences because of speed. So that ideally, hopefully, means that they will actually keep that into account. You should. Like I said, I'm surprised you haven't. Oh, almost had a snap. Can you do it with a felt pen? No, you cannot. Against the rules. No ballpoint. I don't like ballpoint for business, for any penmanship anyway, so that's not a problem. What's the deadline? The end of October. You have 2 days. Go, go, go! Oh, come on. Stack of papers are being difficult. There, Diego. Here's your dive in. Champion's book. Figure it out. Practice it. You have 2 days. Do it all good. I actually quite like Champion's book. It's a good one. I like the way she teaches. The alphabet? Let me get her whole alphabet. Does she have it in the beginning? I don't remember. I don't think so. Oh, she does. Ooh, that is bright. There's Champion's alphabet for you. Yeah, if anybody, I mean, luckily there's a ton of good business penmanship books out there if anybody's wanting to practice business penmanship in general, but I think Mary Champions is a really good one. True. I have to get finished my submission. Get all my retouching done for retouched Old English. Lene, that's basically what all the old penmanship, business penmanship books are. They were used in class. Or they were basically exactly what most people used in schools back in the day. Let's get a little closer here. For retouched Old English, it is necessary to retouch, just because some of the strokes, they're not really possible with nib rotation and whatnot. Some of them are extra stylized. And you go through and, with a ruler, straighten all the edges. It's actually a lot of people, for titles and things like that, anything that was Old English in a lot of engrossing pieces, a lot of that stuff wasn't even done with a nib. A lot of that stuff was penciled, outlined with a ruler, and then filled in with like a wash and then filled in with ink. A lot of it wasn't, for the American penmen anyways, a lot of them didn't necessarily do them, or engrossers, just with a nib on paper. Here comes another ad. Surprise! So for the certificate, there's Old English, and then there's the retouched Old English. The Old English is a little bit more raw, and it's designed right out of the nib, basically. And then the retouched has all the extra little swirls and hairlines and stuff like that. I really want them to add Engrosser's text to the certificate lineup. That's sort of my goal. It's not my decision, but I would love for Spencerian and Ornamental Penmanship to be split and not be the same thing like they are right now. I would like Ornamental Penmanship to be its own thing, which I think really, really should happen. And then I want Engrosser's text to be added. And that'll be a tricky one as far as judgment, because every Engrosser's text example is different. Every penman did it a different way. So there's going to be a lot of like personal style allowance requirements, just like for something like Ornamental Penmanship. I kind of feel like the best way to do it would be to pick sort of like an ideal example for people to shoot towards, and then if they want to stray here or there, I feel like it should be permissible. Yeah, I'm not sure why they got grouped together, those two. For Old English, Rapid Old English, I don't remember the page number, but it's like page 28 or 29 in the Zenarian manual. There is an example there by Lupfer. And then for the retouched Old English, there's another example by Lupfer. And then there's an example by Brown, an example by Lupfer, an example by somebody I can't remember that starts with an S. All three of them are in the Newsonarian manual. There is an example of Old English text in the Zenarian manual that I have a feeling they would allow as a reference for retouched Old English. But Old English text, you don't really use a nib at all. It's 100% outlined and drawn. So I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it a little bit. And then there's also Ziller's book, which I don't remember the title of it. But Ziller has a book that has some Old English in it. There's not really one example that's like the perfected engraved plate that they want you to sort of follow for Old English. It's similar to Engrosser Script a little bit in just the examples are how they were written. Which is tough if you're trying to do things exact, because even in like one alphabet, the same stroke is written multiple different ways, especially in, say, Brown's example, for example. He writes it different. He'll do the same stroke different ways. So I don't know if he always did them that way, or if it's just a product of how he wrote that alphabet that day. Not sure. I copied the Lupfer example for my for my rapid, and then I copied the Brown example for my retouched. But it's tricky because the whole thing they say for Old English is if you cover the top and cover the bottom, you get that like picket fence look, even black space to even white space, which is the goal with Old English writing. But in analyzing Brown's examples, his letters like lowercase a, lowercase d, his closed letters, or like e's, anywhere he has two strokes, the middle is much thinner. He did them very, very narrow. And they look really beautiful, but I know that if I submit them like that, I will get penalized because they don't look like a picket fence. So I actually tweaked. My example is not like really any of the book, really, because it's Brown's, but spaced sort of like Lupfer's, or like what I'm pretty certain they're gonna want. So it's like I quote-unquote corrected Brown's forms and then used those as my reference, sort of. Which, who knows? Maybe that'll make me fail. I'm not sure. We'll see. Luckily, my hand doesn't do fracture or gothicized italic subconsciously. The only broad pen style that I feel like I would go to subconsciously is Unchel. It's the one that I've done the most of. It's not my favorite looking of them all by any stretch, but it's the one I've definitely written the most. Cool post, small post. Oh, yeah, the Engrosser's text would have to be very, I guess, judged just with an overall sort of how things look, because you can look at one piece of engrossing and there'll be 5 different variations of the lowercase e on one page or one chunk of writing. That might be an over-exaggeration, but it was... because they did it really fast. It's not super precise. It's not they didn't use really Engrosser's text for a lot of titles and stuff. That's where they used Old English text and Old English. But they did it fast, and they used a lot of different variations of letters. So yeah, the judging will... if memory serves, I feel like somebody tried to have Engrosser's text added once upon a time, and it was fought for that specific reason, that it has to be so subjective. But I feel like it's a huge part of the history of American penmen, so I feel like it should be in there. It is maybe the second hardest Ojaswini if you do it that precisely. For me, I do Gero Ancho, so it is not so precise. Off of Norders. Yeah, I feel like if I was implementing it and if I was one of the ones judging it, I would want to, same with Ornamental Penmanship, I would basically go through all the alphabets that I could find. I would want to pick one that would be sort of like a target alphabet, but then, I mean, you have to allow for a lot of variation. So like Ornamental Penmanship, I can speak on a lot more because I know a lot more of the styles, a lot more specific. I personally would choose like Lupfer to be my example for what I wanted people to do. That doesn't mean they have to do exactly Lupfer, but that would be the example that I chose. And then basically it's Ornamental Penmanship as a whole. I wouldn't want things to get too crazy. Like if somebody used, let's just say specifically, the X from Mataraz's Freak Capitals, which to this day, I believe that's a mistake and doesn't belong on that page. I think it's ugly. Things like that, I feel like I'm not sure that I would be super into, but I guess it depends. It's tough. It's tough. It becomes a lot about the overall work, more so than sort of the specifics. Because even in like business penmanship, my favorite alphabet consists of like some of Brownfield's letters, or some of Bairnsmeyer's letters, some of Mills's letters, some of different, like my favorite form from different penmen that I feel like look really good together. No, that's the tricky bit. The judging ends up being quite tricky. Wow, the judging of everything ends up being quite tricky, unfortunately. That's a good shade. The cool thing is, and I don't know really sort of how it's gonna happen. Whoa! What just happened? The viewer count on the video just went from a high number to 3. Are people still here? Is everybody still there? Did I lose you? I can't imagine everybody left all at once. Did I say something that was really offensive? Did I make enemies all of a sudden? Oh, there we go. We're back up to 50. I got 15 now. Cool. Weird. Yeah, the number, I don't keep a super close look on the viewers, but it dropped down to 3, which is smaller than normal. Until we get after midnight, it'll drop that lower sometimes, but yes, I made fun of Mataraz, or I disrespected Mataraz, one of Mataraz's letters. And I always will. I think that X is ugly. I think it's... I genuinely think it's a mistake. I don't think it belongs. And it's not necessarily like... It's the ovals that go along with it. Just, to me, break the rules of flourishing and ornamental penmanship. Many other, though, disagree. So, Wait, is Hody here? I didn't see Hody. She's not in the chat. But I do think as the program develops, I like that, I don't remember the exact wording, but now people who've achieved a certain level are able to be sort of added to the pool of judges. I don't know exactly how that works. But I love that that's a thing now. Because I would assume that the judging will be quite a big job depending on how many submissions come in. And yeah, it's cool. But so with like something like Engrosser's text, it might just be more so a couple people proving they have an understanding of it and then taking on the judging. Almost like they would have to do it and then submit it to like the association as a whole, or I guess the, like this whole certificate committee, have everybody look at it, and then have those people sort of review it, tell them if they think yay or nay, or like an interview process. They gotta talk about how they would judge, maybe? I don't know, maybe that's overcomplicating everything. That's a lot of work. What is happening right there and right there on all three of those? Cut it out. How many? It's supposed to be 2. I have heard every submission I've done, to my knowledge, I've gotten responses back from 2 judges on everything I believe I've ever submitted. And I've submitted quite a few things. I did hear that some people only got 1. I don't know if that's factual or what. I've had 2 people judge everything I've ever submitted. No, they critique. I mean, they have like there's a scoring sheet that they mark you in certain things specifically. There's sort of criteria that need to be met, and if you get docked points, then you fail. And actually, I think of all of my submissions, the most thorough judging so far was Old English. When I did my Old English proficiency, they didn't dock a lot of marks, but they made a ton of comments, which for me was amazing. Because super educational, and there were certain things like they're being picky, pointing out like this and this and talking about this and whatnot. I don't think they were bad enough errors in the proficiency level to necessarily dock me enough points to fail. But maybe they would be bad enough errors in an excellence level to dock me marks. So I got very thorough critique from 2 judges in that one, and it was very helpful, actually. Luckily, I passed and didn't have to redo that one. But it could have gone either way. Same with this one. It could go either way. We'll see. And same with illumination. I know for a fact, I didn't do illumination this year. If I did the same quality of work for my excellence in illumination that I did in my proficiency for illumination, I know for a fact I would fail. That point was alluded to. It was good enough for proficiency, but it would not be good enough for excellence. And I did not have the time this year to really dive in and perfect some of those little skills in creating that piece, because the hours involved in creating the illumination piece are extensive. I feel like it would take me at least, probably at least 40, 50, 60 hours to get the piece done. At least, because I work very slow when it comes to that style of work. Whoops. That's just, wow. If anybody remembers when I did my proficiency example, I did it in just a few days, and it was basically taking like 2 or 3 hour naps the days before submission so that I could stay awake, work on it all day, sleep for like a couple hours, get up and keep working on it so I could get it done. No, for proficiency you have to, you're not copying anything. You have to take a Costello piece, this year anyways, I don't know what it'll be next year. This year you have to take a Costello piece and do essentially a rendition of it. But it's everything. It's the borders, it's the gilding, it's Engrosser's text in the middle, which, truthfully, I don't really feel like the Engrosser's text should be a part of it. I feel like that's a different skill than the like illumination and whatnot. I kind of wish that part wasn't involved, not just because it makes the whole process easier. I just feel like it's a different skill set. And you can do a lot of gilding and illumination and whatnot without Engrosser's text. Obviously, there's a lot of it that also has Engrosser's text, but I feel like that's I don't know. It's in there. I wish it wasn't, but it's in there. That's okay. I don't mind. I like answering questions. Also, please, everybody, don't quote anything that I'm saying as like the law, because I'm just riffing off of my head, and I am human and I can misunderstand things and whatnot quite easily. Just because I happen to be the vice president of the association doesn't mean I know all this stuff. I am completely unaffiliated, or I have nothing to do with the certificate program, so I don't know what goes on over there, aside from who directs it and whatnot. No insider trading here. Whoops. Pot belly. That's better. I am looking forward to doing the illumination one. I was hoping to do it this year. I just should have started it a lot. I mean, as soon as they announced sort of what the rules were, I should have started it basically immediately, because that one would take me a long time. It's a level of work that I Can't afford to rush. Little pheasants. This is another great exercise too for the, and you can add that shade exercise I spoke about earlier sort of to this one as well. See how many gradients, how many shades. Whoops, that's not any bigger. And ideally just get them thicker and thicker. Whoops. Those are a bit crazy. That's actually, if I were like Moderaz and people said, "Hey Mike, make a scrapbook or send me specimens for a scrapbook," I would do a line of those. Better than this, but I think that would be a great thing to have as an example from somebody. Maybe one day. Whoopsies. That oval. This is a shape that I have trouble hitting sometimes. I often get, it's in the, on this side and this side, I get a little too rounded out in the very end. I don't get that nice oval shape on my, it usually happens on my direct ovals. These ones, I get that nice oval shape on those ones, but going the other way, they're not always there. It's often too round or just doesn't have that same shape. That one did. I ruined it when I got up here, but what's everybody working on this evening? Shout out to the lurkers in the room. Lurker Leon, how's it going? Lurker James? I doubt Lurker James is here. Shout out to Mike McCrudgington, watching this in the future. What is the boîte du soir? Boîte du soir? Box of the night? Boîte is box, right? Du is of. Soir is night? That has to mean something other than box of night. Help me out here, Lene. I don't speak this language that well. He did! Nice, Ojaswini. Lucky you. I have to send him some stuff. I have owed him some stuff for a while now. Wow, that's quick. That's exciting. Some inspiration for you? Why'd I slow down? Boire. Oh, I don't know what boire is. What's that mean? What's that mean? Translation, please. Boire. Nope. Do you see the difference between, on this one, that nice taper down, taper there, taper there? This one is a little more rounded on the top. The bottom I feel like has the right shape, but it's a little more rounded on the top. Slight. Oh, drink of the evening. Got you. Tonight it is Earl Grey tea with honey. I ran out of milk a few days ago, so no milk. I eat my cereal with water, and I drink my tea without milk. Because I ran out, and I'm too lazy to go to the grocery store. That's tomorrow's job, actually. Two round again. Ad coming in, I think. For those of you that aren't running ad blockers. Like how round that was up there. Most people would be anti-cereal with water. I will admit that I am a weirdo, and there's a possibility that my friend Jen is lurking and watching in the chat, or is just not in the chat right now. And she's one of my friends who lets me know often that I am a psychopath for eating cereal with water. But I gotta say, a lot of cereals taste good with water. It's a relatively often occurrence in my apartment because of the food that I purchase when I go to the grocery store. Milk is one of the things I run out of first because I use it in a number of things. But I still have other supplies, so I don't want to go to the grocery store just for milk. So I survive without it for a while. But I still have cereal, so I gotta eat the cereal with something, so I have it with water. Like Raisin Bran, for example. I borderline almost prefer Raisin Bran with water over milk. I know that's a bold statement, and I don't know if it's true, but I quite like it. How's it going, Jose? Nice to see you. It's not too bad, you. It's pretty nice. Wait, you, is it you or UA? UA? Yeah, you're not alone, Eric. Most people find that disgusting. Most people would find it a disgusting notion. I've just gotten used to it. I eat ghetto cereal sometimes. Not because I don't have money. I'm just too lazy to go to the grocery store. So I make my last food last as long as I can. Ah. What is happening there? Better than goat's milk. I mean, yeah. I usually drink oat milk with no sugar. Is my normal go-to. Oh, this nib is very misaligned. That must be from that snap earlier. It's amazing that it's been writing as good as it has. It is very... The tip is not matching. But you guys have seen me do that many, many times. It's a really easy fix. I recommend every penman keep a magnifying glass or a loop or something relatively close to their desk just to check, because just a couple seconds and it can make your life a whole lot easier with your nibs. Your hairlines will be cleaner, you won't get nib snaps, it'll just feel better most of the time, especially if they're sharpened. Just gotta make sure your fingers aren't oily when you do it, so be cautious with what lotion you use and whatnot. I didn't have a hairline there at all. Look at what is there. Oh, look at the difference in fineness from when it was misaligned. Even just these ones, when it was misaligned. Wowzers. Because that is luckily, it's still showing up on camera. Ooh, that makes a huge difference. I didn't realize it was that bad. Ran out of space. I love it when that happens. I did not realize. Well, hello, Mr. Grimes. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Karina, you might not like the reaction. I don't know that most people would probably enjoy the taste. S is a little too angled. Whoopsies. There's a design school, actually, that also... I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a university, or it's specifically a institute of design, and their logo as well doesn't reach, but theirs wasn't on purpose. It wasn't a clever design choice. Nice. See, that's a perfect example of that reversed horizontal oval that I was talking about. That is not a terrible oval, but just the wrong shape. It's this corner and this corner up here and down here need to be narrower so it gets the oval shape. It's a bad habit of mine that is very hard to fix. Or at least I've found it difficult to fix. Doesn't happen all the time. It's good on that W. I think it comes in when specifically this compound curve doesn't have enough curve. If it goes too straight into it, similar to this one here, it ends up getting round instead of having enough curve and going into the oval. It's my theory. I don't know if that's actually the reason, but it's possible. Anything is possible. Too long. That's better. I love when that happens. When the T, when you line it up basically perfect, so your T comes down and disappears exactly where your exit stroke ended, right where you want it. Obviously, it doesn't happen that way, but it sure feels good when it does. Oh, sirens outside. They're coming. Oh, I'm pulling that shade so far down into there today. Can we do one more line to not waste the bottom of this page? What do you think? We can certainly try. I have done nothing. I was framed. Ugh. What is happening? I'm gonna blame my tools. And for good reason. This nib might be getting a little too old. Not holding its shape anymore. Because I didn't get a nib snap or anything. It shouldn't be bad yet. People often ask, how do you tell when a nib is bad? And it depends on how you like, if you like to work on your nibs or things like that. For me personally, it's when situations like this happen. If no nib snaps, but over a few samples of writing, if the tines keep misaligning, then just means that the metal is losing its memory, and it's not springing back, which is no good. Come on. That one was my fault, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. No, something's up. Something's wrong. It'll eventually go join its brethren in a box. But not yet, I don't think. Not quite. Give it a quick burnish just for good. Whoa, I assumed you went to bed already, Eric. Awesome, I'm stoked to know that you finished your submission. That's wicked. I look forward to hearing how it does. My fingers will be crossed for you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful evening. Well, hopefully the judges take into account the movement that was used and don't expect utter perfection. Fingers crossed. Have a good night, Karina. All right. Double check we're still all good. We are, except for that hair that's in there. Should be laughing. Hopefully. We will know in a moment. Oh, why can't I wish hairlines just always look like that. Makes me so happy. There is a bit of oil on my nib now from my fingers, which I'll have to clean off here before too long when I change pages. A decent eye to end the page. I always like eye practice because of this specific point, which amazingly in this instance it's not intentional to hit my starting point, but it's cool when you do eyes across the page. Your ending stroke can basically hit your starting stroke, which is pretty fun. Give the nib a really quick spit treatment. Okay, new sheet of paper. I'm using the Michaels paper today, and I'm realizing some of my sheets are different shades of black. Whoa! Dizzy Bunny! Welcome, Lee Fraser! That's exciting. Now I'm very curious. I have a friend who is a dancer, whose name is Lee Fraser. I'm curious if that is the Lee Fraser that joined, or if it's different Lee Fraser. Lee Fraser, if you are in the chat, say hello. If you're not in the chat, well, you will never see or hear this message, so never mind. Love seeing a dizzy bunny. Always welcome. That needs to be a shirt. Have I ever said that before? Have we ever talked about making a dizzy bunny shirt? Hello, Abjeet. Welcome, welcome. Lee, what's going on? Are you Lee Fraser, my dancer friend, or Lee Fraser, a penmanship friend? I'm curious. I'm gonna guess you're Lee Fraser, my dancer friend, who I haven't seen or talked to in a very long time. Nice! Welcome to the stream, Lee. Right on. That's fun. I don't know if I can actually put... Can I put the Dizzy Bunny... I know it's not a bunny, but can I put the Dizzy Bunny on a shirt? Because it's a Pokemon, right? I'll get in trouble. Because of copyright. I can obviously put the words Dizzy Bunny on a shirt. That's true, I could sketch one. I could do my own. I mean, the one in the stream, he's a little pixelated. If I pixelate him, I won't get in trouble? That's possible as well. Or just have the words. I could just have it be a text thing. Since that's just like a stock animated GIF that is used. I could do a fun design using the colors of the Dizzy Bunny and the like swirl in the background without actually using the Dizzy Bunny itself. Which would be cool. I don't have any colored shirts. It would be cool to get some colored shirt options or design options. I hope everybody's having a decent evening. I know I'm just writing completely random today. We have no rhyme or reason to what we're working on. I mean, we're not really working on anything. We're just writing for the fun of writing today. Considering I should have done a Halloween stream. Oops. There are other Tolkien things we could do. This is true. If I'm being honest, I just wasn't feeling very organized today to have an actual theme. Up until a few hours ago, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get the stream going. But here we are, and I'm happy we are here. True. It wasn't so much the reminder. I knew it was Tuesday this week. I just didn't know if I was going to be ready and have all my ducks in a row to sit in front of a screen for a couple hours and have some fun with a pen. But I'm glad I did. Whoa! Why is that hairline so thick? What happened? That's no fun. Yeah, this nib might be ending its life. It's giving me a lot of hairline and shade variability when I don't want it. Wait, if we do some lowercase as an example. Yeah, the little moments, like this ascender stroke coming out of the H into the E, and then the O to the U. There's weird things going on. Haha, no need to apologize, Lee. It's nice to see you as well. Always doing my thing. Every Tuesday night when I'm home. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Apologies. Oh, ad coming up in 42 seconds. Apparently. No good, that one. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Wait a minute. It is 11. Oh, did I turn this off because I was out of... I did. I turned this off because I was out of town and I didn't want my room to turn into a party room when I wasn't here, because all of this happens automatically. If I'm not even home and we're not doing a stream, my lights still go off and the black light still turns on and all of that. So yeah, whoops, I turned this off. That's what's supposed to happen. But I had that shut down because I was not home. Well, alright. This music is not suitable. We gotta do a little of this. I think it was this one we did last week. Little hype tracks action. Let me get my face cam so I can see myself. Not that that's really important, but where is my face cam? There we go. And then we do a little bit of this. For anybody in the chat who's never been here past midnight, or in today's instance 11 o'clock, we do Blacklight. Welcome to Blacklight Live, everybody. I changed it from midnight to 11. I don't know if I'll always keep it at 11, but because midnight was pretty late, or is pretty late, to be dipping into the late night. Okay, let's get some paper that is blacklight visible, shall we? I like this song. I don't recognize this song, but we probably have heard it before, I guess. Alright, I gotta do this. I don't remember how high I made that. last time. Oh, don't snap on me. Oh, it's very dark. Oh no! What did I do? What did I do? This is what I wanted to do. This way. And this. And this. This. There. That looks better. Yeah, normally the lighting changes when it's midnight. But I figured I would start it a little bit earlier. I might not always have it be 11. I might make it be a little bit of a mystery. I was feeling old, but still celebratory. What was happening a lot of the time? Because like my streams don't have themes and stuff like that a lot of the time. So we were doing just our stream, and things started getting really quiet at like 11:30, things like that. So I was always feeling like, well, it's bedtime. Before we would hit midnight, so we weren't hitting midnight all that often. In the early days, when we first started the Blacklight Lives, midnight used to sneak up on me. But now, streaming for 3 hours before the blacklight is a long time. It's a long stream. I am old. This is true. I mean, I guess I should note, I'm still awake all the time. I mean, regardless, it's normally, I have other stuff I have to get done on Tuesday nights before I go to bed. So I don't stream until 2 or 3 in the morning. That's too long. Oh, I forgot the Y. Gruey. So gruey. Whoopsies. Oops, oops, oops. I also have really early mornings, and there's just a lot of things I have to do on Tuesday nights. Usually when I finish the streams. Not a lot of things, but some things. But yeah, it was just getting really quiet, and no official like complaints, but people from the East Coast, it's quite a lot later for them, for example, and people were sad that they never get to be here for when we go blacklight party. I don't know if any of them are here now, but it's a 1 hour earlier chance, and it just sort of ensures that a little more blacklight time for everybody, which I don't think is a bad thing. That's a nice V. It's wonderful. Like a grown-up. You and the East Coasters. Yeah, easy for you to say. Wait, what time is it for you, Lene? I don't remember what time. Oh, you're a West Cape coaster. All right, so you're with me then. Got you. Oh. Biggest problem with writing on during the blacklight is the paper is a bit scratchier, and I can't see in my loop to fix it when it's this dark a lot of the times. So if my nib is bad, it just sort of ends up staying bad, unfortunately. Oh, you guys, wait, does my time change next week as well? I don't remember when we go to daylight savings time. I should know that. Oh, maybe. I honestly have no idea. I've never really paid attention to it that much. The time change never really bugs me that much. I get why some people don't like it. Just doesn't affect my life all that much. Wish I could smooth out that old. Why can't people handle it? That's weird. Because they have to wake up an hour earlier and they're more tired? It's weird that it affects vehicles. That's weird. Shouldn't be that hard to handle changing your internal clock. Nice to see you, Lee. We should do coffee or something. But thanks for popping in. Have a good night. And hopefully we'll see you again. Whoops. And I guess next week is going to be too late to do a Halloween stream because we'll be into November. I mean, we still could do a Halloween stream technically, but it should have been today. I mean, we can change the... Wait. Wait a minute. We could go to orange. Oh, the orange is like orange and pink and yellow. That's orange. Extra stream on Halloween, you say? I mean, I suppose we could do a Halloween stream. Oh, my fingers are very yellow. Yeah, this is... It's hard to get, because, like, my nib, you can see that it gets really pink. The fresh ink is pink. Or, like... peach. Coral. That's probably the right word. Whoa. That big oval's not very good today. That's better. Sherbert? Yeah, this is quite a sherberty color. You're correct. My fingers remind me of... I know it's not the color, but the color... It kind of reminds me of the movie Sin City a little bit. Weirdly. I don't know why. That movie's not yellow, is it? It's black and white with red? I can't remember. Something about the preview screen reminded me of that movie. I like sherbet. Sherbet. Or sherbet. I've always called it sherbet, but I know there's no R in the end. Thanks for hanging out, UA. Have a wonderful evening. This nib is unhappy with me. It does not want to do... upstrokes. All Hallows Eve. What movie? Sherbet? Is that the name of a movie? Wait, I want to try something. I'm not going to do a lot of it, but I am curious. Oh, I wish my spinning top would glow in the black light. That'd be sweet. Oh, this ink is very, very liquidy. that's that's not even a letter. Oops. Oh, this ink is insanely liquidy. Broad pen. Too blobby. Blobby, blobby, blobby. So blobby. Blobby, blobby, blobby. No good. I'm stopping this experiment. Oh, Sin City. I forgot I was talking about the movie Sin City. Sorry. Wait, my brain doesn't work. No, it looks bad. It's super blobby. I gotta see if I can get a... What I need to do is... Mom had sent me instructions once, and I never put it into practice, of a way of making gouache glow under blacklight. That's what I need. So my white ink can essentially be blacklight ink. I was just dipping. I wasn't loading ink with a proper brush or anything like I should be. That's one of the reasons it was so blobby. And I can't see in the reservoir. Maybe one day. Oh, there's a fiber in my nib. I also should say, and it's not an excuse, I normally write my desk, I use a slant, or my desk is at a slant when I normally do broad pen, or when I do Old English. No, I should though. That's a good idea. Get full on, get all scriptorium up in here. Oh, I'm not allowed a cat in my apartment. I'd have to get a stuffed cat. True. I never thought of being a monk in a scriptorium for Halloween. It's not a bad idea. Give out misfortunes. I could never give out misfortunes. I could give out good fortune, not misfortune. I feel like in order for a kid to love it on Halloween, there would also have to be some candy that goes along with it. I would guess. Don't know if I like this orangey color. I'm going back to the standard late night colors, which I believe was... Oh, that's not it. Wrong slider. It was negative... Let me type it. Right there. Good call. If you're an American, don't forget to vote. Oh, we got an ad coming in 42 seconds again. It's gonna be stressful. I agree. Coffee time. I'm surprised you haven't had coffee already, Yoda Swinning. Aren't you normally caffeined up by now? Oh, this was supposed to say coffee, not teal. It's amazing how much autopilot can just take over with my thoughts. When I was thinking about when then they wrote teal in the chat. I was thinking about that while trying to write you need coffee. Oi oi oi. Autopilot to the extreme. I don't even know how you spell coffee. C-O-F-F-E-E? Is that coffee? Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, too many comments floating around in my brain. I can't keep them separate. I wish this paper was a little bit smoother. Wonder if there's a way I could... Wonder what happened if I ironed it. If that would make it smoother for writing. Curious. I might have to experiment. Because it's not bad. But with this nib is not a fan. Which makes it risky. Yeah, I'm curious. It might not, I mean, it might not do anything at all. But it could, like, I don't know, burnish it a little bit? To smooth down some of the fibers? I'm not sure. I will give it a shot. Oh, wow! That was a big one. That one scared me a little bit. It has such a different impact when it's glowy late at night. That legitimately startled me. This nib is misaligned, but I don't think that I can fix it. Oh, can I see? Just to do a tweak is all I want. It doesn't look super misaligned. I can't see it good enough. Maybe that's good. We'll find out. Oh, I feel like I've said this on stream. Look how good those... Oh, I put that right in a shade. Whoopsies. Look how good the dice glow. They're so bright. I could just do this for a while. This is fun. They're so glowy. You know what I should do? I've never thought of this before. I feel like I should bring the blacklight to Iamphith next year. I feel like the... yeah, I'm very distracted there. I feel like the Iamphith After Dark late night study room could use a blacklight treatment. I'm a vice president, not the president. Not yet, anyways. They might kick me out before I become president. You never know. We did that once. I was teaching at a calligraphy convention in... Where were we? We were in Poland, I think? And at that one night we were hanging out late and somebody had a blacklight, if memory serves. Which is so fun. I've never thought of actually traveling with my blacklight and bringing it places, because it is very bright. I don't know if it's bright enough for a ballroom, but... Huh. Well, I never planned to cause or get into trouble, but it could happen. I don't want to get kicked out, obviously. I want to be president, but who knows? Anything's possible. Maybe I'm just really bad at it, and they're like, whoa, Mike is not made for this position, and then I get the boot. I never plan on causing trouble. I don't think I often cause trouble. I can be a bit of a squeaky wheel sometimes, but nothing wrong with that. Oof. That was almost a scratch. We had a skip right there. Almost a nib snap. Very dangerous. Well, hello, Annie. You're here quite late. Nice to see you. Oh, my nib is digging into the paper at like basically every upstroke. It's very dangerous. No need to apologize. no need to apologize at all. I'll be on my best behavior. Oh, did I finish my tea? I think I did. I didn't! Oof. Cold tea. Now it's done. What are you up to today, Annie? Vacationing? Oh, that's fun. I didn't know you were in Vietnam. That's super dope. I assume it was an awesome 2 weeks? That's a nice long vacation as well. That's wicked. Oh, Nib's not gonna make it. Yep, there we go. That was a mistake. I knew I didn't have enough ink for that one. Climbed mountains? That's dope. I've never been to Vietnam. Ooh, stuck in a typhoon doesn't sound terribly safe. I'm glad you're okay. Well, that's fun. Do they have really good papers over there? Vietnam. I like in Japanese. Places like Canada in Japanese is just Canada. but I like that Vietnam in Japanese is Betonamu, which I like. Cracks me up. Just like Britain is Igirisu, which also... Those are the... I feel like those are the two... China also doesn't sound like China. The rest pretty much sound like what they are. Or like what they are in English. What is China? Ongaku? I can't remember. I also... don't quote me on this, Ojaswini. I feel like India... I honestly don't know, actually. It might just be... Indie? I don't know. Any Japanese people in the chat? I'm honestly not sure. I'm certain it's come up in one of my lessons and I just can't remember. Oh, that's awesome! I'm jealous that you got to see his studio. That's dope. Huang's cool. Chandelier? What is it in French? Chandelier? C'est un chandelier? I don't know how to say chandelier in French. Okay, yeah. Chandelier. Whoa, major nib scratches. Oh, he made a pen just for you? Dope. Is it like a special kind of wood, or do you know what it's made out of? That's cool. Sounds good. I look forward to it. That's awesome. Did he make the pen while you were there? No, I guess probably takes longer than that. Oh, I can imagine. I would love to see his studio. Oh, this nib hates me. Oh, that was an even bigger one. Those really startle me when they're in black light. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Got black light all over my hand now. Yeah, Carnage is right. At least it was on I like it when they happen after the last word on like just the ending stroke. Because then they almost feel like they're intentional. That's both of these that happened today on this page. Funny, funny, funny. Yeah, I don't think this nib is very happy with me anymore. It makes me feel risky writing with it. Ha! That didn't work. Oh well. That is an ugly design. We're gonna call that good night. We're gonna call that a night because my nib is not happy with me. It's not loving the upstrokes, and I can't see well enough into my loop. Hey Crystal, my practice sessions, I'll be 100% honest, lately have been a little fewer and far between than I would like. If I was on top of my schedule and practicing as much as I would like to, I like to practice every day. When I'm actively working on things, I practice, I would say at least, I would like 3 to 4 days a week, 3 to 4 nights a week. To work, and my practice sessions are usually at minimum about 30 minutes. I rarely sit down to write if it's not for longer than 30 minutes. I often will write for usually about an hour or two if I'm chilling. I would say probably about 30 minutes to an hour of that is probably if I'm working on something focused, practice and study. And then I sort of parry every practice session with play as well. Which tonight, basically what I do in my late night lives is play. But in a perfect world, yeah, I would sit down and write every day, or at minimum, like 4 nights a week, 4 days a week, to practice somewhere in the day, morning, night, somewhere like that. I'm usually a nighttime practice person. Depending on my schedule. Right on cue, Oda Swinney saying, "What? Already?" Yep. I was potentially going to do another page, but my nib is not happy. And it's making me feel really tentative when I'm writing, which makes the lines not that great. We would love to have you here for more of the lives, Crystal. If you want to go back, there are... Well, this is live 148. There's 147 previous streams that are on my YouTube channel. If you're ever wanting to just sit and watch or listen to somebody sit and talk and write for hours on end, there are now... I should calculate the hours, but it's like hundreds of hours now it has to be. Yeah, it's at least... There's probably... at least 300 or 400 hours of penmanship, chatting, and me just blabbing about this stuff and answer a lot of questions and whatnot. Yeah, I would say on average, is it 3.5 on average? Not today. We haven't had any really, really crazy long ones in a while. I need themes. The theme ones are the ones that end up being on the longer side, and I enjoy doing the themes. I also coming up, I want to do some guest ones, or I want to bring some other people into the mix to write with me during these sessions. I've been chatting with a few penmen about that, getting them in here. But we are gonna call that a night. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. This was a fun one. We missed the past 2 weeks, but I do believe I'm home for the next little bit. So we'll be back. I have no trips in the really close future, anyways. So yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out with me today, everybody. Hope that you had a wonderful time. Please be sure that you are falling in love with the process. And don't forget that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Have a happy and safe Halloween, everybody. Good night. And stream.